I am an anarchist. Stop. I'm guessing there's a lot of images in your mind right now, and that few of them are very positive. Perhaps you're all imagining some bomb-throwing psychopaths, some president-assassinating lunatics, or a society based on nothing more than chaos and lawlessness, and perhaps you think that's what me or anarchy is about. But that isn't, and it never has been. If you've ever seen an anarchist symbol, you notice it's a capital A inside a circle. The circle stands for order. That is not something we are against. We, as anarchists, just believe in a better order of doing things. An order of total freedom and equality, an order that is determined personally and collectively by all of us. Of course, that's not what they'll tell you on the news they own or in the schools they run. Because those in power can never believe in an order they didn't decide for themselves. They can never believe in the orderly and free society of equals I want to help build. No. No, all they can believe in is the order of the elite. They believe in the order of a drone strike-loving madman we call our president. The order of a man who uses his melanin in the White House as a sign of hope and change while simultaneously deporting more immigrants and having more people of color at home and abroad killed than his white predecessor ever did. Or perhaps they believe in the order of an older white feminist, a politician who's more accustomed to soirees with Wall Street executives than talking to the everyday women who would struggle to live on the measly $12 minimum wage she thinks is high enough. Alternatively, they might believe in the order of a rather popular Vermont senator who loves nothing more than to dumb down the concept of socialism, forsaking its revolutionary meaning of worker control of the means of production for a vapid dream of friendly capitalism that smiles and gives you a bit of a welfare state while continuing to exploit you and the planet. Or, our love of freedom and justice forbid, they believe in the order of a wig-wearing Wall Streeter who screams racist, homophobic epithets at anyone that doesn't believe in his order of authoritarianism and white supremacy. But as an anarchist, I can never believe in any of these orders, let alone vote for one in this electoral farce designed to make you think you have a say in how your life and society is managed. As an anarchist, I dare to believe in and fight for a better kind of society, one where everyone is fed, housed, and free to be themselves so long as they don't impede anyone else from attaining those same things. This is the kind of order and freedom anarchists want. And while I believe many of you probably also want the same things, I must say we need more than hope to achieve them. What we need are love and rage, two things which don't seem related, which I would merely call two sides of the same coin. Since my childhood, I grew to understand how these things were just two equally necessary sides for an equation for liberation. I began to understand this from the first day I left my parents' upscale Manhattan apartment and saw the homeless person who lived downstairs on the sidewalk and thought, why? If humans are good and if we love each other, then why does he not have a home? Why must he beg for food if there are so many rich bankers like my father running around? Next came my first day of first grade, and with it 9/11. And yet again, I had to ask, why? Where had all the hate in those terrorist hearts came from, I wondered. And then, as if on cue, the war of terror in Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iraq, and the 1.3 million people it has killed to this day came to answer my question. As the years passed, my age grew alongside with the rage I felt at being forced to ask more and more questions about this supposedly free and fair society. Why are women paid less than men? Why are people of color discriminated against? Why do we hate immigrants so much? Why do we let cops kill us with impunity? Why are we destroying the world with climate change? Why do we massacre and relocate the Native Americans? Why do billions of non-human animals suffer and die along with the environment for our love of their flesh and milk? As I asked these questions and studied history, I realized that love, as beautiful and necessary as it is, doesn't suffice to make change by itself. I realized that rage is also sadly necessary, and in fact should be a natural response to injustice if you truly want to change things. One only needs to look at the social movements and revolutions in history to see what I mean. Every social movement or revolution that obtained any measure of real success has strong elements of both in it. Everyone prefers to give the credit to the love and nonviolence of Dr. King, but I assure you, without the rage of Malcolm X's words and the rage of the people of color willing to burn down the cities, President Johnson never would have met with MLK and signed the Civil Rights Act. Looking to India, everyone cites Mahatma Gandhi as the reason independence came, while forgetting about the long and bloody struggle of South Asian revolutionaries who never stopped fighting the British. Today, leftists love to talk about the revolutionary lack of prisons and love-filled methods of restorative justice used by the Zapatistas in Mexico, while forgetting about the rage and armed struggle that he had to use to kick the state and capitalists out of their land to make that all that possible. This is why rage is necessary alongside love. Otherwise, we'll not change much, let alone address the real source of the problems. Love, as necessary and beautiful as it is, will never be enough to tear down the prison walls, the borders, the patriarchy, the corporate universities, the police stations, the banks, and all the other systems of oppression that reign over every aspect of our lives. For that only rage will suffice. That is why we anarchists rage against these systems of oppression, because we know that to truly build a better world, we must tear down this world order that's based on accumulation of wealth and privilege instead of well-being and freedom. And now, because I'm sure many of you disagree with me and would rather still cling to a philosophy of unconditional love and nonviolence, I'll leave you some questions. Who shows more love? The person who gives $1 to the beggar, or the person who attacks the system that denied them a home in the first place? The person who protests the war, or the person who destroys the equipment used to wage the war? The person who speaks out against racism, or the person who fights the racist cops and patriots that propagate it? The person who is a person who tries to educate sexual assault out of existence, a necessary thing, mind you, or the person who teaches the bastards that committed a lesson? I'm an anarchist because I believe in these acts of rage motivated by truly radical love. So with that in mind, go out into the world and show its love.